So I just wanted to do a little quick unboxing video and kind of an initial impressions review of the US OPTICS TS-12. This thing's been on the market for a few months, and as of right now, this is early January 2020, and there's no other videos or any information outside really of US Optics website. I just kind of wanted to do an unboxing so you can kind of get an idea of what's in the box and kind of an initial impressions review. I have opened up the box and just kind of looked at everything, just went over some of the features and tried to match up what I'm actually getting, like on the turrets and everything versus what US Optics says is available on the scope. So that's the only reason I opened the box, was just to make sure that I wasn't giving you any incorrect information. So let's get on to it. Comes in a pretty nice box. It's pretty tightly sealed. Takes a second to get it open. Everything is back in the box exactly the way it came out, so you don't have to worry about anything. I didn't dress anything up. This is exactly how it was in the box when I got it. Got your user manual, just so you can kind of get the optic set up and get it zeroed in and get everything set. Comes with a US Optic sticker, and then your inspection checklist. This shows that somebody here in the United States at US Optics actually went over your scope, checked all of the specs and adjustments and everything, and made sure that everything fit to their standards, and then they boxed it up and sent it to you. That this thing didn't just get put in a box overseas and shipped directly to your door, which is nice to know that somebody actually went over it just to make sure everything works like it should. This thing's got some pretty nice foam in it, so during shipping and everything, and even if this thing was in the box and you were to drop it or something, I really don't think that you would hurt this optic. It's pretty heavy. They consider this a compact. Scope. This is their TS line of scopes, the tactical sporting. It is very short for some of the features that the scope has. It's got a 30mm main tube, 42mm objective lens, and this other lens is 34mm. There's the scope, and you do get an Allen key, which I believe is for the parallax knob, which mine seems to be on, so it seems to be where it needs to be. I wouldn't think that it needs to be adjusted, but I think that's what that's for, because I didn't see anything else that would need an Allen key to adjust. There's no zero stop or anything to set. So you also get a lens wipe, which is nice. Be able to have something soft to keep the lenses clean. Here we go. The scope comes with flip caps, which is better than not having any kind of lens caps. This one here is a little sensitive. I mean, you can just barely touch it and it opens up. They're not probably, I would say this one is for sure not as nice as some of the other ones you can get online, but once again, it is better than not getting anything at all. This is a first focal plane scope. It's a 3-to-12 magnification power. The magnification adjustment is here on this end here, and it's a little firm, but it's really not out of the ordinary. I wouldn't think it's any tighter than it needs to be on mine. I have talked to some other guys that have this scope, and they said, I would say half of the people I talked to that already had it before I got mine said that the magnification was a little tighter than what they would expect. The other half say it's fine, and mine seems to be fine. That's really the only complaints so far that I've gotten about talking to the other people that have this scope already. Is the magnification ring possibly might be a little tight, but this one seems fine. So looking on the bottom of the scope, it just says US Optics TS-12. It's got some serial numbers. So it doesn't say made in China or made in Japan, so I really couldn't tell you. I know it's not made in America, but I really couldn't tell you exactly where they have these made at. So going to the knobs and some of the features, the elevation knob, you get actually 6 mils of adjustment total. These have locking turrets. They do not have a zero stop, so you have to raise the turret and then adjust. See if you can hear this. It's got nice audible clicks. They're not as firm probably as some people would like, but this is not really ultra high end, ultra high dollar scope, so it seems to be that it'll do fine. I do like the locking turrets, even though it's not a zero stop. This is geared more towards a hunting style scope, So, you know, they probably assumed that in a hunting situation or something, you don't really need to go to return to zero in a hurry. So it's not a big deal that it doesn't have a zero stop for me. It's also not a big deal that it's illuminated, although, you know, just like anybody else, the center dot would be great if it was illuminated, but I'm sure they have a budget in mind, and whenever they go to producing these optics, they have to kind of stop at some features. So both the windage and the elevation are locking. See if you can hear this. They're nice. They're very audible. They're not as crisp probably as some of the other scopes out there. They are plenty crisp. They're not extremely mushy or anything like that, but I would say they're probably halfway in between, you know, crisp and mushy. But they're not bad at all. I wouldn't complain about the clicks. They're very audible. You get 6 mils total, so this goes, if you're gonna rotate it up, you'll go all the way around to 5, and then it takes you a full 5 all the way up to 6 per revolution. And then, you know, you can return it back down to 0. It won't stop at 0, but you can lock it back down and you're zeroed again. You get a 6 mils of revolution, of 6 mils of adjustment per revolution on both turrets. This one goes from 0, so I can do this with one hand, sorry, all the way around to 3. And from 3, it's going to count back down to 0. So that's a total of 6 full mils of adjustment per full revolution of the knobs. The elevation is, US Optics says that you get 30 mils of elevation. I was able to get 32 mils. And the windage, their specification says it's 25 mils of windage adjustment, and I was able to get 26. I would think that's plenty of windage. That's a lot. That's a lot of windage adjustment and everything. So they are within spec. They're not under spec. So, you know, it doesn't say that you get 30 and you only get 28. I was able to get 32, and they list it for 30. Moving on to the parallax. The parallax knob is over on this side, which is nice. You got it goes from infinity all the way down to 10 is what the box says, but I was able to, and it kind of goes under, it keeps going beyond 10. I was able to get it down to focus at about 5 yards, so that's really good. And I don't really see any compromising on the long range clarity. So I was able to focus out to about 400 yards where I'm at here. Perfectly clear. It may be even further than 400. I really don't know. I didn't range it. But it goes, you know, they say it focuses down to 10 yards on the parallax, but I would believe it's actually a little closer than that. Not really that you would need it to work any closer, but, you know, any extra is always a good thing. So it's got a 30 mil main tube. Parallax is 10 yards to infinity, which is plenty. The glass quality on this thing is awesome. One of the guys that I spoke to said that he also has a Night Force SHV, and he compared the glass in this to the Night Force SHV. He said he thought it was on par with the Night Force SHV line, which, you know, that's $1,000 scope. This thing, MSRP on US Optics website is around $600. I was able to catch this thing on sale for quite a bit less than that. So if you look around, you might can catch these things on sale. So far, I'm very impressed with this optic, and I've got all the rings and everything. I'm going to be getting it on the gun, and I'll try to get some video of using it on the gun. Try to get the phone scope on and make a little videos of that. But so far, I really like it. This also has the mill hunting reticle, which, let's see, it's probably hard to see. It does have some holdovers in it. All of the adjustments and the reticle on this scope are in mils. Everything is in mils. You can get this thing in the duplex, standard duplex reticle. I think they call it the triplex. I did not want the triplex. I wanted the mill. I wanted some holdovers in the reticle. Like I said, they do. I think this is more lean to a hunting scope, but it is, you know, exposed target turrets and everything. It is part of their TS, the tactical sporting line. So, so far, I'm very impressed with this optic, and I'll be trying to get you some more videos and stuff coming whenever I get it on the gun and get it out to do some shooting. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up.